It's going.
Hey, welcome back, guys, to Thoughts at the End of a Red Pen. We are wrapping up our top 10 things that can sabotage your classroom management.
Ta-da! So last week we talked about a lot of things. We talked about students, what you can do in your classroom to make it run a little more smoothly. We gave you the first 5, and so here we go with the next 5 or the last 5 on our list.
All right, so here we go. Number 6. We have a problem in the classroom with always saying don't. It's just easier, don't tap your pencil, don't hit the person in front of you, don't throw the desk across the room. That's obviously an extreme one of that, but it's happened. Or in some instances in previous classrooms, don't use the lighter to light the desk on fire. But
wow.
That's a little bit extreme. Anyway, the biggest thing that we want to gain from this knowledge of don't use don't is that we want to create a positive atmosphere in the classroom. And just like when you're trying to yell over your students, if we're always saying don't, then the students that's all they hear. And then it becomes a game. Oh, the teacher said, don't tap my pencil. I've still got to tap, it's in my head. I still got to tap my pencil. it's a habit now. I can't do it. So we want to refrain from
using the word don't.
Yeah.
I think is what you're wanting us to do.
But you definitely want to make sure that they're following the rules. So instead, try to rephrase it and say, please refrain from tapping your pencil, or this isn't really a good time to do that right now, Johnny. Can you tap your pencil whenever the class is done?
And I know it drives a lot of people crazy. I'm old school, obviously being a little bit of an older teacher, and obviously when I was growing up, it was a lot different. Education as a whole and how we disciplined students was a lot different.
Education was different when I was in school.
Well, yeah, and it was different then. I mean, and we're talking about people that I'm not more than 25 years removed from public education and now being back in it. But the simple fact of how students respond to things, and by simply saying their name, Leslie, if Leslie was doing something wrong in the classroom, I promise you I do that now, and typically those students stop like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Number 7. Allow behavior interventions to drag on and on and on. How many times have you set the rule and you allow a student to break it once, twice maybe, and you tell them to stop whatever they're doing and they don't stop? And all of a sudden you're into the 3rd time, the 4th time, and that student's still doing it. You've lost control, okay? It's so hard that when you make the rules, you got to stick to them. Yeah. And I always tell I get to talk to students at Northeastern State University every year, and I tell them that classroom management is this ever-evolving animal because, man, I'm going to have this rule of no gum, let's say. You know what? That's not a battle I need to fight on every single day. Mm-hmm. And so those are the things that I have to allow sometimes. Obviously there are extremes, but when you have those rules, you need to stick to them. Mm-hmm. And it's 1 or 2 strikes at most, and then you've got to discipline it, whether it's calling mom and dad, getting a principal involved, whatever the case may be, you have to take care of it.
Yeah, and if you allow a student to get away with something, especially if you're making a big deal out of it, then it's going to allow other students to know, hey, she didn't punish this kid, then I can do it too.
Absolutely.
And then you're stuck, because if you punish the other kid who just picked up on that, well, now you're again in a power struggle, and you're going to lose, and now you've got 2 kids who are not on your side.
Stay at the front of the room.
Oh my gosh, this is the one I wanted for so long, because I cannot tell you how many times I've seen teachers just stand at the front of the room or sit at their desk. Don't sit at your desk. Oh, I said don't.
Try to refrain from sitting at your desk.
Try to refrain from sitting at your desk. But please wander the room. That's how you take care of so many behavior issues, mm-hmm. is by walking the room. You know what? You have a Fitbit, use it. You've got those special apps on your phone, use it. Mm-hmm. But you have to walk the room. You can't just stand up here in the front of the room and lecture for the whole period. You have to walk the room. Even when you are lecturing, walk the room. Mm-hmm. You might pick up on a student who might be nodding off, and if you go stand by them, they're now suddenly all perked up, like, oh my goodness, what does she want? What is she doing? Why is she looking over my shoulder? Oh, right. What am I doing? Okay. And so they're more aware of what's going on. So, number 9. When you only focus on the problems, it is going to create a negative atmosphere in your classroom. And one of the things that I try to do, because I want my students not only to like me, because I like to be liked, but I also want them to respect my authority in the classroom and also see me as a person and not just as a profession. I want them to have an interest in me as well as see that I have a vested interest in them. So I always try to remain positive. I always tell them to have a great day, even if they all walk out of here with their heads down and grumbling and saying explicatives to me. But I always try to, don't worry, I don't let them get away with that. But I always try to remain positive and have a smile on my face. I always do my best to try to be at the door to greet them and to let them know that today's going to be a wonderful day. And then when they, grumble, oh, what are we doing today? Say, it's going to be an adventure. You're going to love it. Even though they're high school students, they still need to see that excitement in teachers. They still need to know that we care about what we're doing. And if we're just standing there going, no.
Turn into Charlie Brown's teacher.
Or they see us gossiping with teachers or anything like that. I mean, that's going to happen. But when students see it on a daily basis, every hour after hour after hour, then it becomes an issue, and they peg you as the negative teacher, the gossip teacher, the teacher that doesn't care, and there are just too many students that have that negativity already in their lives, and they need a positive person. They need a positive.
Number 10, you taking things personally. It's hard. Any of us that do this or anything that we do for a living, it is personal to us because we enjoy what we do and we love what we do, and we're always, most of us are always striving to get better. So when we're attacked, if you will, by a student or heaven forbid their parents, it's tough to wrap our heads around it and not take it personally, especially when it's our fault sometimes that they got the F.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is really true for a first-year teacher, because you kind of come in and you're like, I love to learn, these kids love to learn, it's going to be great, all butterflies and, sprinkles. But in
sprinkles and butterflies.
Well,
I don't know what donut shop you go to. Is that what's the name of it?
You're all excited about teaching, right?
Right.
You're excited
Absolutely.
about teaching. First year, you're like, woohoo! I love to learn. We're going to learn so much. And then you come in first day and everybody's like, well, I hate English, or I hate social studies.
Right.
This is awful, And so it can be very demoralizing. And when that happens to you and you hear that, it's easy to take it personally.
Yep.
And it's easy to be like, well, I feel like I'm doing a good job. But in reality, it's not that you're not doing a good job. It's just that the kids are kids, and you have to give it time. You have to reach them at their level, and if you're going to take it personally, it's going to put you that much further away.
Closing, I think that these are 10 things, and obviously there's probably, we could probably go on and do 100 of these easily. But these were the 10 things that Leslie and I thought that would be good for those of you that are new teachers, and even those of you that have been around quite a while, to give you a refresher. So, final thoughts?
The biggest thing that you have to learn, especially coming out of the gate, is to just continue to work hard, invest yourself in these kids the best that you can, and don't take it personally when things don't go your way or they're not as excited about the material that you're learning.
Yeah, and remember, investing in those kids, unfortunately, you may be the only one that is invested in that child, knowing what all goes on. So stay positive with them, and don't forget to step in their shoes every once in a while. So that's it. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Thanks for watching.
Bye.